Hi everyone. I'm Jon Binnie, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland. Today, I bring to you channeled messages from my spirit guides from across the universe, from Mother Gaia, Sol from the sun, and Luna of the moon, and archangels and many other beings that I trust deeply to work with and share predictions, messages, and practices that will help you on your journey through life at this time. So I'm sitting down today and it's to, where is it? It's to help me. I found that this little device that I've been connecting into my laptop has been causing some audio issues in some of my live streams. So it's not connected right now. I'm using the USB connection directly. So if I ever have any audio problems in videos, please do let me know. The musician in me, the computer geek, the computer geek in me as well, really wants to fix the problem. So yeah, keep me up to date in the comments how everything sounds. I can also see, since I'm using my laptop and my webcam, a little audio indicator showing that you guys can hear me well, which is great. Okay, as always, I'd love to start with creating a safe space, and please do join me as we create the safe space. It's so powerful to be able to create a space that feels safe, where my heart and your heart can soften and open and really receive messages, guidance, practices, and healings in a safe, clear, crystal clear, and ethical manner. So please join me as we go ahead. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And breathe out what no longer serves our highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotions that no longer serve us, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. And focus your attention now on the very center of your heart, where the golden light of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head, up into the sky and up into the stars. Reach all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there, connect in your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feel into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now this time from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light downwards, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth, and reach all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connect in your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with light of source above, Mother Gaia below, and your own light, expand out a golden bubble of protective light from the center of your heart to at least 2 meters out to each side, above and below you, in front and behind you, and set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good, love, and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's session. And now, through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us who choose to connect with today's video across space and time. And I set the intention for this protective space only energies and entities with my permission and the highest good love and compassion of all can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. I invite in my spirit guides, my higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna. And I invite in my spirit guides who are members of the Galactic Federation, the Pleiadian Council of Light, and others. And with this, we can get started. And just to set a clear intention, I would love to receive messages to help share with all of you today your best messages that best serve your highest good at this time. But first, some water. Well, it's certainly fun getting used to being in a little swivel chair, and I'm enjoying the freedom of movement. I also can't stand on Patch, my Papillon, which is great news. Okay, he's just sat resting next to me. So there was quite a lot coming through during the safe space setup, and Mother Gaia would like to come forward. She often does in these videos. I know that April 11th is a date. We're just at April 3rd now. April the 11th is a date of which I've been continually checking in on about the third and fifth dimensional split. And I also, at a human level, I wanted to say that to remind you that I will be focusing more on the fifth dimensional aspects of these videos as we progress, and less about the third dimension. Now, you could argue already that's true for me, and true for my content. It's much more of a higher, happier vibration. And in part, that's because you can just watch everyone else, complain about a broken world, and I'm not denying it. Like, I live in it too, right? We're all in it together. I'm just making a choice. I'm choosing love over fear. And I would never want to deny any of the suffering and the pain that goes on in this world. It is absolutely real. And I've had certainly my fair share of pain and suffering in my life. And I know I'm not out of it yet in my life. And so I want to both acknowledge what's there. And so I would never, deny what exists in the third dimension. And I also honor all the beautiful souls that both choose fear, and also those that choose love, but choose to remain and to help in more third dimensional roles. And in often we describe ourselves as the ground crew, helping all the humans around the world. And I've also recently been drawn back to some of those early awakening experiences in my life, and also 20 months ago now, since I left my corporate job of 26 years in software, the last 8 years as a senior manager at Amazon. So it's 20 months since I left that. So I've been drawn back to some of those very pivotal breakthrough moments. And I feel that that's because we're also together now going through the opportunity, if you choose it, through a big split, the opportunity to choose love over fear. And I hope that in amongst all this chaos and darkness in the earth, that you're also feeling like me, those little, beautiful little sparkles. And these are the sparkles of hope, of joy. And it, for all the huge, destruction and misery on the earth right now, it just takes one little sparkle to transform that whole reality, that one, I can feel it in my heart, that one beautiful laugh, smile, joyful decision to choose love over fear. And sometimes we have to choose love through fear. We have to walk through the fear. If you were to ask me to give advice to John 20 months ago, just in the days as I was leaving my job at Amazon, if there was one piece of advice I could give myself, it's just very simple. It's just face your fears. See it as a door, identify what the fear is, tell other people about it, step up to the door of your fear and walk through it. Like, do the very thing that you're scared of the most. Okay, and there's a lot of other stuff coming through as well, which I'm excited to share. Let me ask Mother Gaia now to step forwards and to channel through me any messages for your highest good at this time. And I'd love Mother Gaia as well to talk a bit more about what's coming up in May and June and beyond. Okay. Hello, dear souls. Welcome. Welcome to the choices that you've made today, the very choices that have brought you to John's video, the very choices that have brought you to increasingly choose love over fear each day. I, Mother Gaia, am well aware of the suffering and the fear and the anxiety that continues to escalate upon the surface of planet Earth, my body. I want you to know that this is not unnoticed. I want you to know that all suffering, including your own, those moments you feel lonely, those moments you feel doubtful, the moments you feel scared, I want you to know that at very least I, Mother Gaia, am aware of you because you sit upon me, your body and your heart frequency resonating across my skin, the crust of planet Earth. I feel every heart, and I want you to know that I'm here for you all and I love you, and I will continue to provide a home for you for as long as you choose to live upon the earth. What I can no longer tolerate is this continued greed, fear, and destruction that affects those that do not choose it. This is not in line with universal laws. Too much has been experienced and witnessed upon the earth. Too much suffering, too much pain. Some other planets, including those in our solar system, have chosen paths of ejecting civilizations, destroying civilizations. And that is not my choice. I choose to offer a home to all of those who choose to live upon me. And I now focus and shift my focus to two specific versions of myself. The higher vibration, fifth dimensional earth that houses those who choose love. And the third dimensional earth for those that choose fear. You may be wondering many of the logistical, operational, geological, vibrational questions that a single earth of two different densities brings into your human consciousness and concepts of reality. Perhaps a simple way for you to envisage this is that each morning when you wake up and your heart is filled with love, you're upon the fifth dimensional earth. Each morning you wake up and your heart is filled with fear, you wake up upon the third dimensional Earth. It really is that simple. It really is your emotions. And your emotions are your choice. You have been trained and programmed and taught that this is not true. You've been trained and programmed to think that your emotions are dictated by world leaders, people that provide for you. None of these people upon the earth actually provide for you. You are already abundant. You are already born fixed. You're already born complete and abundant. It is the farming of humanity's energy and the continued erosion of your free will and the continued increase of codependency and constant delusions, illusions, distractions of wars, all to take you away from the simple truth. You already have all that you need. And I'm responding now to Jon's question of May and June. April continues to be turbulent, including upon and beneath the surface of the earth. And I draw your attention, as Jon says, to begin to perceive two worlds, two versions of the same things. For example, Mount St. Helens. There is a third dimensional version and a fifth dimensional version. What is true for one person in the third dimension is not true for another in the fifth. And you can imagine fearful outcomes for those in the third dimension and joyful outcomes for those that choose love in the fifth. It's really very simple, and I invite you not to overthink this. You have no dependencies on your happiness, on any other being outside of you, any other being. It's all up to you. As the split continues, triggered around the 11th, you may experience continued colors in the sky, flashes of light. And please do not confuse the engineered shortages of resources, including fuel and power, your energy that you consume at this time as a civilization. Some of these may be blamed on solar activity. And please be aware that this is also not true in parts. Some of what you experience in the atmosphere and in the sun's activity, some of this will be amplified, dramatized, and exaggerated. So do imagine a fifth dimensional world where you don't have such dependency on external systems, healthcare systems or financial systems, power and energy systems. So whenever you experience any kind of shortage, imagine the alternatives. Imagine how in those moments you could take your power back. Imagine how you as an individual could generate what you need. Because really, when you're not constantly feeding a system designed to drain you of your energy, you only really need enough for you and your loved ones. And be a helpful neighbor to others. That's all you really need. Into May, you'll experience a turning of the tides. So you may experience some of this through the wars that are currently in progress. The turning of the tides is a withdrawal, a recalling of overextensions of conflict. For example, with North America, with the US and allies, taking a step back. Yes, they may, through propaganda, claim peace. They may claim triumph. You will feel the undertones. You will feel the energy. You will feel some of the quite stark realities of really who is dependent upon who or whom. Really, this whole world and all of humanity is dependent upon each other. And so just like a family with a mother, father, daughters, sons attacking each other, no one really wins. Everyone suffers. And I invite you as an individual to reflect, especially through May, on how you can make a difference in your life and in the lives of others. And sometimes it's as simple as not engaging with the negative behaviors and promoting what you do want. If you choose love and peace, please choose it. Say you choose it. Say it out loud. It all makes a massive difference. Jon said earlier, just those small sparkles of joy in such vast, heavy darkness, like a star in the night sky, can light up that whole area. Get clear on what you want, you as an individual, what you want for yourself and your families. And into June, especially as the Northern Hemisphere, as you enjoy summer, June is bringing great change. There are realizations and epiphanies about these sparkles of love energy igniting within you. And you begin to see some more of the phenomena, including continued earth changes. Yes, including, as there always are, earthquakes and volcanoes. You begin to start to see the exceptions. For example, those people who do not suffer from the same events in the same geography that others do. The people, the homes, the areas that are inexplicably protected because they have chosen love. And because actually their bodies, their physical bodies and their homes are of a higher vibration and do not suffer in the same way. They are lifting above the third dimensional earth and continuing on their journey into the fifth. One day, in quite some future ahead of you, in the months and years ahead of you, still within around the 10-year time frame, instead of seeing people in their own protected little bubbles and their homes, you begin to experience just the absence of those people if you reside in a fearful third dimensional earth. You just won't really see them anymore. And it's the same for the fifth dimension. This is a very gradual process, although in geological terms and in the lifetime of the earth, these are massively quick and rapid. A few years is the click of a finger, is the blink of an eye in billions of years. And the fifth dimensional homes, people, world, living things will begin to see a gradual reduction in their contact and experience of those that choose fear. And finally, I leave you with the third dimension continues to survive no matter what. As I said, I kept my promise and I will keep my promise. There'll always be an earth for those that choose fear. And finally, the gateway, the gatekeeper from your fearful earth of third dimension into your joyful fifth dimensional earth doorway between them is your fear. Facing your greatest fear will transport you from third into fifth. It is not as simple as in the choice of choosing love over fear to choose one or the other. It's really to choose love through fear, through the door of your fear. You have to face your fears. You have to let them go. This is the key to unlocking and raising your vibrations. So perhaps, as I said earlier, when you wake in the morning, you'll be excited. You'll choose love because the day before you faced your fears. And so the cycles continue. Please take good care of all your loved ones, of all your neighbors. Get clear on what you want from your life, from your world. Write it down and talk about it with others, and talk about it with your excitement, not the frustration of what is. It is time to let the broken aspects of this world find their own path. And may you all choose wisely with your hearts, with your higher selves, with your souls, with your loved ones, what paths you choose. As the third and fifth dimensional Earths begin their split from April 11th. And from myself, Mother Gaia, Sol and Luna, your solar system, astral bodies, we love you. We love you. We love you. Wow, thank you. That was a lot. Thank you so much, Mother Gaia. I'm going to take some notes and just drink some water because that was some really lovely channeling. So we heard in May, if I got this right, that we were going to experience like a turning of the tides. I love this almost like you can like push out fear and then it ends up coming back. And this seemed to be specifically connected to wars, and includes the war in the Middle East at this time. So just taking note of that. And then in June, we started to see more examples of where as I saw it, people through different Earth events were starting to see that, some people inexplicably just don't suffer in the same way that others do because they face their fears and have chosen love. So facing fears, choosing love, and more experiences. I'm going to call them, for my notes, 5D bubbles. And it was fascinating also, touching on the future years, that there's this feeling that we'll have less and less, if you're in the fifth dimension, you're going to have less and less experiences of people in the third dimension, unless you've chosen it, unless you've chosen to go back to those vibrations to either stay there yourself or to support others. Wow. Very powerful. Thank you. And I'm being drawn into answering your questions now. It's exciting. And I'm just going to drink some water first. I thought it was very interesting. I can't remember if I was saying this, some of this myself, or it's kind of leading to it. And then Mother Gaia talking about facing, choosing love through your fears. And I keep seeing like fear or fear below. And then there's like this kind of gatekeeper of like the door of your fears. And then that's what allows you to choose love. And I feel that's in the context of 5D ascension, it's very true. And it's helpful, right? Because when you face your fears, you're never bypassing it, right? And that's just some of the hardest human challenges we have is bypassing our fear, pretending it's not there. I've had experiences in recent client sessions over recent weeks where I've been shown by clients' spirit guides that people may step up into the fifth dimension. So almost like a kind of temporary choice, like, yeah, I choose it, and I choose love. And it's a bit like that feeling of, oh, I choose to go on vacation. I'm going to go on vacation to Hawaii. I'm going to go and sit on a beach and sunbathe for a week. And then you get there, right? And you say, this is love. Like, I choose love, right? And then you're kind of there in like your own paradise. And then, you get an email from work or you get or from that person that you have a toxic relationship with, or, and it pulls you right down. You're like, no, I have to go home. I have to go all the way back home. And so simply, choosing love, only choosing love without facing any of your fears, only choosing love leaves you very vulnerable to just being pulled right back to the fear, right? It's almost like a temporary thing. Yet we all have free will and we all get to choose at any moment, whether we engage with facing a fear in that time or not. And, personally in my, especially now that I've faced my, one of my biggest fears when I left my corporate job 20 months ago is, I still have fears, and I just, at very least on a weekly basis, usually for me it's every Sunday, I identify what they are. I also talk a lot to other people, to friends, family, students about my fears. And sometimes I've got fears for other people. One of you commented on my video yesterday about, leaving the 9-to-5 matrix, and you said, "Oh, I've left. I've resigned from my job, and I don't know what I'm going to do next." And and I was like, in the moment, I was like, "What have I done?" and I felt so good because I felt then to be able to say, "Well, you can try my free heart-aligned business alchemy classes. They're on YouTube. There is a course, or most of us would understand it as a playlist in YouTube. And you can just start working your way through them. And it starts with getting clear on what you want. And I love that, like, get clear on what you want. When it reminds me of when Mother Gaia was describing us talking about the world we do want. What was fascinating was this feeling of, I could see two people talking about war that was happening. And the conversation started as, "Oh, isn't it terrible?" And they're talking about some of the specifics. And then one of them says, "But, there must be a way to exist as a human race without war. I wonder, if that's, that must be possible. I tell you what, I choose that. I choose a world that doesn't have war." One thing that came up for me recently with war is that I felt that it was important for me to say that I don't consent to it. I don't consent to it. I don't consent to paying for it. And yet it seems that some of my hard-earned money has been going towards it. And it's like, hang on, that's really bad. I don't want to be paying for humans to attack other humans or war with others. This does not feel good. That's not what I want. And so what I do want is to continue to explore new ways, just because we don't have the answer. We don't know how we're going to achieve world peace. That's not as important as first choosing world peace, right? We just need to say it. We'd say, I choose it. And write it down if we want. I choose, like I have my mission on my homepage of my website. Maybe it'd be helpful for me to just look it up and read it out to you. And the reason I share my mission on the homepage of my website is I always want to be clear about the positive action I do want. And I'm a big supporter of always saying what you do want. You know, it's much better when you go to the restaurant of the universe to ask to place an order for your dream life, your dream world, your fifth dimensional world, to say what you do want. You know, don't just go to a restaurant and say, well, I don't like cucumber. It's like, great. But what do you want? I used to not like cucumber. I actually love it now. So this is my website. You can tell, look, it's me. It's my happy face. JonBinnie.com. And so the world I choose, and it's included in my mission. I say my mission is to support our ascension into a world of free will, peace, equality, abundance, compassion, forgiveness, sovereignty, unity, unconditional love with rebalanced darkness and light. And I help empower thousands of people on their awakening journeys to raise their vibrations, find their life purpose, experience their dream lives, face fears, activate superpowers, and embody daily practices to help this whole world's transformation from within. And the reason I say the whole world's transformation from within is because there's no one coming to save us, right? We are the ones. We're the souls that said, well, I'm going to come here. I'm going to incarnate on Earth and save the Earth. So this is it, guys. This is us. It's you and me. Like we're doing this together, right? And everyone else that chooses to help the world and help serve others. And yeah, on the journey to explore, like I don't know, I literally don't know how I'm going to achieve that mission that I just read out, my mission, right? We all get to choose our own mission in our lives. What I do know is I'm doing some of the things, including this video, to help, right? And we're going to help, even just bringing the awareness of like, we're sat at a restaurant, right? It's time that we choose with this manifestation analogy of the universe, the restaurant of the universe. We're getting ready to place our order. We looked at the menu, right? We've looked at the third dimensional menu, and we've looked at like, get a big house, get married, have kids, buy a fancy car, work 9 to 5, or in my case, it was usually 8 till 8, and be fearful of everything. It's like, wow, that's fascinating, right? Thank you for the offer of that menu item. I just don't choose it. And as Mother Gaia was talking earlier, it really made me realize there's so much propaganda when you're watching, especially our movies and many of the movies and documentaries on streaming services, right? Where I saw War Machine recently, and I thought that was, a fascinating piece of propaganda. And not in that movie, but in others, they usually describe this kind of any post-apocalyptic world as being really bad, right? For good reason, right? So the whole idea is that basically, you're familiar with this, right? Because you'll have seen it tons of times in movies, is that, when governments collapse, for example, we're all kind of sat in our homes, scratching our heads, eating, tins and fighting each other for scraps of food. And it's like our nails are dirty, and like our faces are all grimy. Like no one washes, no one goes in a stream or in the sea to wash themselves. We're all hungry. We've all forgotten how to farm or to hunt or however we choose to eat. Everyone's thirsty because we've forgotten how to drink the rain. And it's like, that seems like a really pessimistic view, an extreme, right, of what happens when systems fail. And I'm not denying there'll be some of that, right? I don't know how to fully feed myself. I could probably do some fishing, some basic farming, and at very small scale. And if I had to, I would keep animals, or I may have to go back to eating meat. So I'd feel less bad personally if there were my animals that I looked after that they ended up having to consume. But we would find a way. This is us humans. We're actually pretty resourceful, right? And we can also just feel into some of these things, like without overly scaring ourselves about, oh no, there'll be nothing. Of all this prediction work, over 100 videos and predictions since about August last year, there's none of these timelines ends up in that extreme version of what movies will often say in this kind of post-apocalyptic dystopian future. It's like, that doesn't happen. None of those are real. Or if they are, it's for very short spells of time, right? And that we're all encouraged to just continue to, I do feel as part of reconnecting with the land, exploring more ways to sustain ourselves. And let's face it, it's so much easier to sustain all that you need when you're not consuming as much. And you're not leaking out so much energy and having to give it to your to your masters. That's such a funny way of describing world leaders, right? Masters. Wow. I don't think I'll ever be saying that term again. Okay, so thank you for sending on your questions. The first question that has randomly popped up is from Steph1111. Thank you, Steph. Thank you for asking. Steph says, "Hi, Jon. I know this is supposed to be a year where everything speeds up, but it still seems slow to me. Everyone is saying how much change is coming this year. However, I'll hear someone else say, like in 5 or 10 years from now, we will have a big change, and I get sad and frustrated because that seems so far away. When I think of New Earth, I think of the powers that be all stepping down without having any more control over the people. The new human, with our spiritual gifts and superpowers like telepathy, clean air, water, food, living in unity and love frequencies, etc." Okay, so without having control over them. Sorry, my reading's not amazing. And then, when do you see these things happening? I understand they'll be happening slowly, and they've already started in some ways, but I'm talking about big change. When do you really see big change here on the planet? What major changes can we expect to see by the end of the year versus 5 to 10 years from now? And at what point will these dark powers that control us really be gone? Wow, fascinating. Just a great question. And I want to respond. I'm going to respond to each part and ask some of my spirit guides to help answer as well. So those first parts of the frustration of when someone says, in 5 to 10 years now, I just want to be really clear that really frustrates me too. When I me, I don't really watch other psychics or predictions on YouTube. And so please know that I say I just don't watch them, right? I do see some people's thumbnails pop up, especially like the big channels. And when they say next year, 2027, we're going to get ET contact, like, I don't want to wait. Like, what are we waiting for? And I'm like, and who are you to decide that it's then? And who's the being that you're channeling who's making that decision? I mean, I think it's all our individual decisions. And my spirit guide Maya is just chatting with me just now and just saying, she's saying, that's it. That's exactly right. It is your and I's decision, Steph 1111, and everyone else watching this and everyone around the world. We're the ones that cause the change. So the only people we can really get frustrated with is ourselves and the amount of change we're ready to enact in the world. And there's what I found really fascinating about Mother Gaia's share just there it's not new for me talking about third and fifth dimensional worlds, and they're not new concepts, although I'm sure different people will describe them in different ways and might even describe, they might even say that the third dimensional Earth gets destroyed. And I have just never felt that. And we're so blessed to have the soul of Mother Gaia who's prepared to continue to support a third and fifth dimensional Earth. Can you imagine doing that as a human? Yeah, I'm going to stay in both. I'm going to choose both. Like that is, I'm going to say that's literally hell on earth for part of your existence. So it is hugely admirable. So the big, first of all, those feelings of frustration, I just want to acknowledge them and say, yes, I get frustrated too, right? So I think that's really powerful to just acknowledge. And that the frustration is an important energy, because frustration is an emotion telling us, because it kind of has like those tints of anger in it as well. It's like, I don't want this. I don't want to wait. Like, why? What are we waiting for? Right? And I really resonate with that. And then Steph describes, and I feel this is really a really common perception, that the powers that be have to step down before we can then take over. This is not true, right? We're not waiting for them. We're not waiting for, I already talk about their names in other videos. I don't need to say it in every single video. Anyway, we could be, by the time someone watches this in a year's time, there might be a completely different world leader that I'm talking about, that I'm referencing in your presence. And it's simple. It's just that they're clinging on. Our current world leaders are clinging on to the third dimensional Earth, and they're trying their very best to kind of hoard and make a mess and hang on to all the scraps of what exists. And they're also trying to keep, if you think about the split now happening between third and fifth dimension, they want to keep as many people in the third dimension, because without people, they can't survive, right? They need our energy. They need our money. Rich people aren't rich because they just found all the money by themselves floating in space or buried underground. No, all the rich people get their money from you and I, right? So they need you and I to be rich. They need you and I to put us under fear and control, and for them to feed their greed and their lust for power, like something out of Lord of the Rings. My precious. So, and I feel this is where, as I started today's video, this is where things like YouTube and other content platforms and all the things that we consume online and from others, this is where things are going to get really confusing for us, right? Because we're not used to, I don't know about you, I'm not used to talking about two different realities, right? I'm not used to talking about, sitting there listening to someone saying, telling me about all the horrible problems in their life and all the terrible things that have happened. And I'm not used to sitting there with them and then me thinking, well, so you're in the third dimension and I don't choose that world. Like, no offense. And I know that if there was an easier way for you to choose to face your fears and step into the fifth dimension, you would, but there isn't, right? You just have to, because in facing your fears, you drop that heavy weight, those low vibration things that pull you down, and then you step into fifth dimension. And it's like, and it's going to be really weird for us, like, so you'll be watching, if you don't already, like, I already feel this, right? So to Steph's point about when a YouTube thumbnail comes up, right, on your feed, and it's a popular psychic, and they may be even channeling some popular being who's also famous, right? And they'll say something like, it's going to take, 10 years time and the whole world will be different. And you're like 10 years? I don't want to wait 10 years. It could be true for them. It could be true. It could be true for their vibration. A lot of the bigger channels many of them have taken years. YouTube channels have taken years to get there, right? And where did they come from? They come from older versions, lower vibration versions of reality. They're not higher vibration than you and I. It's the the higher vibrations that are we're gradually in our small little channels, and we're gradually, just like you and I as individuals, regardless of whether you have a YouTube channel or not, we're just regular people, you and I, right? And we're the ones busy raising our vibrations, clawing our way up, facing our fears. I'm so scared. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I feel the love's up there somewhere. I can do this. And we're clawing our way up out of this hell on earth. And we're facing those fears, and we're stepping into things we truly want. We're getting clear about what we want. We're strong, safe boundaries and opening our hearts. And then all those things I mentioned in my mission about, the world that we really choose to co-create together. This is not what you see in people with bigger YouTube channels, for example. And my hope is that that's also true for people that are perhaps getting started now. Perhaps it's you. Perhaps you're thinking of starting your own channel or your own business. Maybe you're thinking about starting to face your fears of lack, about what happens when you disconnect yourself from the matrix. You stop feeding, you stop feeding yourself from this kind of icky, sticky, dark matrix of energy, and you start finding your own way. Brain fart. My brain stopped. I love that term, brain fart. It explains so much of my life. So I'm just responding to some of the frustration that we're going to continue to experience it, right? And we're like, oh, but they must be trustworthy because they have like a gazillion subscribers. Like, no, they have a gazillion people who are in fear, right? They're matching vibration of them, who are lapping up the things that they're telling them. Lapping up, does that make sense? They're eating them up, gobbling them up. It's like, nom, 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 nom. Like, give me all the fear, nom, 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 nom. Great, like we all get to choose. There's no judgment, right? No judgment at all. And I'm not in any way biasing people that have smaller or larger channels. I'm just saying that it's a human reaction, right? We look at it and we'll go, oh, look at the thumbnail. It says 10 years time or next year, something's going to change. I don't want to wait that long. And then you'll also look at, but they've got like 15 million followers or something. And their videos are like really high quality. They're much higher quality than Jon Binnie's. The sound works all the time. They edit their videos, they have a celebrity on or something, or, they're rich or whatever it is. Like we're very human still, right? And we still like cling to some of those dimensions. It doesn't make me as regular John or anyone else any less equal. We're all equal, right? So, that's the other thing I do is when I see these, predictions, and maybe you'll do this with mine as well, is when I see someone's prediction about like in 3 months or 6 months, this is going to change, or 10 years time, this is going to change. I just say, well, that's lovely for you. That's lovely for you to choose. And some of that's a little bit facetious, right? And I'm like thinking, I don't really choose that. I don't want to wait. I'm not waiting 10 years for disclosure. I feel it's already happening now. Have you been looking at the stars recently? Have you been looking at what's moving around in our skies? Have you started opening your heart and talking to it? It's like, it's real. It's happening now. It's micro disclosure for you and I. Okay, I've been blabbing on, and I'd love to get some of my spirit guides answers as well. And it's quite interesting because Steph's question is about when do you see these things happening? So I felt in this video, we've already heard quite a lot about May and June. And it's true, you can look back at the 8-year video I did and gives you like a sense. I mean, let's face it, you're not waiting 8 years. If I'm to describe any date about waiting for something in the creation of this new world, it's now, it's today. Like, we're only waiting for ourselves. We're only waiting for ourselves to face more fears. We're only waiting for ourselves to open up and receive more abundance, to come back to our hearts, come back to nature. That's all we're waiting for. There's no permission. We don't need to wait for world leaders to step down. I was about to swear there. Let's just say screw them. It's like That's lovely for them that they want to control the world. They can have a world that they control, right? Good luck, guys. It's not what I choose. I don't choose that world. I don't choose your control. And I don't give you permission to keep trying to control me and to push fear against me. And perhaps that's, one point that our minds are missing, is that it's a key point, right, in our ascension, is that this is not a world where someone comes to save us. There's not a new leader. I don't want a new leader, one person to come in, a dude, right? Some old white dude or me, right, to come in and go like, I'm the king of your world now. Everything's going to be awesome. Everything's awesome. Like, it's not going to be like that, right? It's all you and I. So some of the very first things we'll really need to get clear on is what we want. So look at my website. On the homepage, that's what I want, right? Choose what you want, and then begin the journey of exploring how you would like that to manifest. Is it leaving your job? Is it right sizing your home? Is it leaving all the people in your life that no longer serve you? Is it not voting anymore? Is it voting? Is it paying more taxes, paying no taxes, devising, campaigning for changes, or deciding, what you do want, fairer ways of, more compassionate ways of connecting with each other and loving each other as a human race. And we can all do this. And this is what births our new world. So in terms of when, I guess really the question has to turn back to us and saying, well, when are we going to sort this world out? When are you and I going to both receive and take action to do so? And we heard from Mother Gaia already, some things are already seem to be happening by themselves. That tide that's turning that she spoke of in May, that there's this undercurrent beneath it of you and I saying, what are we doing? Why are we all fighting each other? Can we not just calm down? Can we not just work this out? There's no right or wrong in there's no right people and wrong people in war. Everyone's wrong in war, right? And so how do we all start to get right? How do we all start to be much more fair and loving and compassionate with each other, still with strong boundaries, still with our own free will choices, just not war, right? And then June, these separations. And I think that's the crux of what I heard. I'm just asking my spirit guide, Maya, can you confirm what Mother Gaia was saying about June? We're starting to see these bigger changes on the earth, like starting to see more apparent, because it's not long, right? It's just a few weeks' time, starting to see much more visceral, real experiences of people experiencing fifth dimensional changes in their lives. We just ask. My spirit guide Maya just restarted by saying, yes, and it all comes down to you. So it's you. You're the ones that decide what you're doing in May and what you're doing in June. And she says, for example, through the Akashic Records, and she's just talking to Archangel Metatron, who I invited in just now, says the Akashic Records for Earth show an undercurrent which overwhelms. It's a love energy that overwhelms the fear. Remembering it only takes a small amount. I think this is something difficult for our minds to understand as well, is that it takes, it just takes 1 in every 26 people, for example. 1 in 26. Imagine choosing love, facing 26 people in fear and shame right now, that your energy is stronger than theirs. Your single choice, your single frequency, that love energy. And she says, in this respect, it takes 1/26 of the planet to choose love for darkness and light to become rebalanced. So just 1 in 26 people. And before then, on the journey to that, because it's still quite a lot of people, right? I'm now like super interested about the maths. Let me just look that up. I don't know the population of the planet. Let's just say it's 8 billion. I don't even know if that's billion divided by my maths. When did I last do maths, John? 8 billion divided by 26. Actually, it's much safer. Just type it in words. Population of the world divided by 26 is beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. Roughly 309. Let's just round it up. 320 million. Wow, that's not that much people, right? Hang on, isn't that like the population of like quite a popular country? What's the population of the US? Anyway, it's not just the US that this is going to happen. Oh, interesting. Yeah, population as of early April 2026, the US population is over 342 million. Well, just interesting, but it's not going to rely on just one country choosing love, right? We're all countries, where all people across the world get to do it. Okay, thank you. And my spirit guide Maya is helping me understand a bit more about, in the next 2 months, this is in the Akashic Records of the Earth, next 2 months and then 6 months. Because in my 8 years predictions, in the next 6 months, I have, so going into July, August, September, purging and trials. So there's been a lot of distraction energy just now, and then we're getting pulled into, with the turning of the tide in May, facing fears and more choice, more people choosing love. So remember those sparkles of energy and like feeling like, hey, maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better way of living. Maybe there's a more loving world we could co-create together. And that sparks a lot more of the purging and trials. And I know that part of us at a human level, we really want that. We want truth. We want justice. We want things to be shared in the news and in the mainstream media. And sadly, so much of it's still very much suppressed. And so she's saying that into what must be, so she's saying 6 months. So we're still early April, right? So April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, and that makes sense. So then into October, where this is where the path to 5D becomes much more apparent. I feel like I've got a lot of work to do between now and then, because what my spirit guide Maya is saying to me is, by the time we get to October, there'll be people like me, right? I hope that's the choices that I've made that I've chosen the fifth dimension, and everyone else will be like, okay, how'd you get there, right? And it's like, okay, no pressure. It's like, let's get all this right. There's a lot of people to help. And I don't know if I'll still be saying the same thing in 6 months' time, saying, choose love through your fears, face the doors of your fears, face your fears, dudes. Like that's my current strategy. You and I, if you continue on this path, if you subscribe to my channel, wouldn't that be cool? Subscribe to my channel and get a free pass to fifth dimension. But in all seriousness, right? You can subscribe. You don't have to become a member. Thank you, members. I love all your love and support. Thank you. But just know that all the content I put out, and I put a lot of it out, right, daily, is to really help you on that journey and help you make those choices. And so what we're tangibly saying is by like September, October time, is that, to Steph's question, for you as an individual, I don't just mean Steph, right? I mean, for everyone as an individual, we'll have a clear path then. We'll know in our hearts how to get there. And it reminds me a bit of myself 20 months ago when I'd written. So all I had was I had no plan, right? And this is perhaps something that we're logically missing in the sequence of events. Like, where's the plan? Where's the fifth dimensional Earth plan? There's no plan, right? There's just no plan, right? Where's Jon Binnie's heart-centered, wellness-limited company of one person plan? Nowhere, right? There's never been a plan, and there never will be a plan, right? Why, you ask? Jon, why do you not plan these things? Can you imagine me in Dragon's Den? We have it in the UK with Alan Sugar, and they were like, so here's this world, and it's like, I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's like, oh, it's beautiful, this fifth dimensional Earth. You're going to love it. And he'd be like, how much money can I make? And we're like, well, eventually we'll get rid of money. I don't actually have money in my list. It's not in my new world. So eventually it'll coexist for a few years, but eventually we don't really need it. I don't need an abstract to tell me the value of something. I can just figure out the value myself. And then this feeling of like, what's your plan? How much money are you going to make in your first year? And I was like, well, in hindsight, I earned probably twice as much as I had expected, but it was never about the money. It was always about helping as many people as I could and just building a sustainable, abundant lifestyle for myself and my family, and living a life as well as serving in service to others. And then the second year, you can imagine in Dragon's Den, be like, oh, actually, I really loved the first year. It's hugely successful. And now I'm 10 months into my second year of my business. I'm actually just reducing the income a bit and reducing the working hours a bit because I just want to live my life as well. I'm continuing to find my way into that, to explore what feels right, follow my joy, what feels right in terms of balance of family, friends, loved ones, adventures, and service to others. And quite often you see the two, overlap. And that would, if we were to imagine writing that plan for Earth, right? So year one, right? We're going to be rich. Woohoo! We're going to get a lot of money by choosing love. Isn't that good news? And we want to help each other. We're going to get a lot of money, and that might happen for people, right? And it's fascinating and slightly ironic. And then we may decide, well, actually, money's interesting and all, but I don't know. It seems to breed that kind of icky, sticky, greedy feelings in us humans. Feels a bit like you're carrying like in Lord of the Rings, you're Frodo carrying the ring. It's like, I don't really need that burden. I don't really need that greed of power. Like, I can just start to release that, because abundance isn't just money. It's everything. It's especially the free things in life. Like my earlier video this week, driving to St. Abbs Harbour, was all about, the best things in life are free. And yeah, that feels really positive. So I hope I'm answering. I've spent so long on the video, but also on Steph's question. And I just want to finally answer, and what point will these dark powers that control us really be gone? I don't feel, from what I've heard so far, that they'll ever leave the third dimension. And that's okay. Because certainly for the people, I'm less tolerant of the beings, including demonic beings, extraterrestrial beings that influence the people that we, that you could describe as those dark powers, or channeling dark powers through them. Like, I don't have a lot of tolerance for that. However, for people that are, for everyone that's choosing to either be in service to others or in service to self, if you're in service to others and helping others in the world, balancing it with your own life and your own abundance, your own happiness in life, fantastic. And let's face it, for as long as you have people living in fear, just because you remove a world leader, let's say there's a world leader that has dark powers flowing through them, dark energies, they're negatively influenced, right? So you remove that person, what happens? While the people are still fearful, the new leader that comes in, there's a gap, there's a power gap. So either a new leader comes in from the outside or is born from the fear within, right? And so it's those cycles of fear. That's why, in part, I don't really talk much about as much. I name them sometimes, but I don't feel obsessed about the individuals, because the individuals aren't really important. They're just, they're a stooge, an avatar. They're just another, well, who's your crazy, power-hungry, greedy, service to self leader next, right? So it's for as long as there are people that accept that, and that live in those fearful lives, there will always be someone to lead them. It's like that saying, the gates of hell are always open, and they welcome everyone, right? And it's lovely and warm down there, right? And so we all get to choose whether we go there or not. And, you know, I say a lot of this in jest, and those latter parts about, you know, I just want to hold space for everyone and say, I feel you. I feel the collective energy. The more years I do this psychic work, day in, day out, my heart sensitivity just continues to develop and increase and increase, and I feel it. It's like starting to feel the hurt and pain of every single living thing across the earth all at once, and it's exhausting and draining. And sometimes I'm asking, you know, I ask to step outside of that, just like our last video, which I think must have been last Friday or Sunday, I can't remember which. And just encouraging you just to find your own choices, your own path, your own way. And yeah, really just decide what, you know, write down what world you do want, and stick it up on your YouTube channel, your website, your board, put it on a t-shirt, like, tell the universe what you want, because even just your act of deciding and writing it down will begin to revolutionize your life, because you'll be looking at all the other things going, well, I don't want that, right? And so whenever the waiter of the universe turns up with this, hey, I manifested a World War III, and I'm like, no, that's not in my dream life. I don't choose that. Send it back. So yeah, getting really clear on that. And then, of course, getting clear on the fears. Like, there are other planets, right? Including Lyra, Pleiades, that were subject to attack from beings who tried to control them and put them into fear. And it reminds me of the stories that you hear of Scotland's history, and there are many other countries that do this as well, where when you fight a people, like, everyone gets involved. You know, the women, the children, the pets, like, everyone's like, everyone's like, no, like, that's just, no, that's not happening here. And that's one of the big challenges we've had on Earth, is that so many of us have gone, oh, I'm scared. And then just allow it to happen. And so, yeah, we all get to choose now. We all get to choose in our hearts. We get to choose what we really want. And it's exciting, right? It's exciting to not have a plan and to not rely on one person or wait for one person, whether they're a YouTuber or a world leader. We don't need to wait for anyone. We just need to focus on our own lives. That's what transforms our lives. That's what helps us choose the vibration of our reality, our earth that we experience. And yeah, I'm excited. So's Patch, my dog. Let me just quickly show you before we finish. There he is. Hi, Patch. He's just been digging up the carpet. So thank you so much for joining us today. Please do comment on the video. Let me know your experiences of today's video. It felt more controversial than others and more expansive, which feels good. Maybe it's the sitting down that does it. And thank you so much for your love and your support. Thank you for for all the members. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. Welcome to my new subscribers, over 85 or 90 of you in the last month, which is amazing, because and maybe it's more because I was actually losing subscribers for a couple of months. It's like, oh, maybe they're going to the third dimension. I don't know where you're going, guys, but good luck. I love you. Best of luck. And sorry, I'm just giving my dog treats. And finally, to just take good care of yourself. Please, challenge yourself if you ever find yourself working too hard, working late, fearful you're going to lose your job. I was there for years, terrified of my job. Ironically, even when I went part-time, and of course, even more ironically, I was the one that left. It's like, give me redundancy. I want to leave. I want to start my new life. If I'd known how good it was going to be, I would have faced my fears earlier and stepped off that, what I thought was a cliff. And it was actually like an escalator, an elevator taking me upwards to this fifth dimensional dream life I live now. Speaking of which, I need to go and clean my house, and then we're going away for a few days, my family and I. So excited for that. Not far. We're still in Scotland, but excited to have some family time. And ahead of my upcoming adventure, I bought a drone, and I've got an upcoming adventure to the Isle of Skye. So excited for that. Thank you, everyone. So grateful for you. Please do check out these other videos. And also explore my website, sign up for my free meditations, book me for one-to-one sessions. It's such an honor supporting you on your journeys. Thank you so much. And I'll bring our session to an end, thanking our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna, and every soul that's participated in today's session, asking each of us to step outside of the shared space and remain in our individual protected spaces. As I close the shared space down and return to Source, or never return here again. Please get plenty of rest, drink as much water as it feels right. And please do, if you choose love through that door of your fears. Sending so much love to you all. I love you. Bye. I love you.